everyone, and welcome to Sharp Dress Gaming, and today we're back with some more PGL Season 5. This is Week 2, and we are up against Max Rapture, coach of the Tasmanian Toxicroaks. If you guys did not watch the Team Builder, link will be in the description below. I highly suggest you watch it, because we mess up. In that Team Builder, we talked about giving Life Orb to Greninja. I find out shortly in the battle that he has ICMZ. So I didn't change it quick enough. And actually, I expected to battle tomorrow, but time zones were really weird. So I was kind of thinking we were battling today. That's why I got the team ready ahead of time. And it all worked out. We were ready to go anyway. But once again, we were bringing Clefable, Arcanine, Leftovers Clefable, Choice Scarf, Arcanine, Chesto, Mudsdale, Eviolite, Porygon 2, Mega Skizz, and unfortunately, ICMZ Ash Greninja. So on his side, we see the Mamoswine, which is what I was afraid of, the Magearna, which was what I was afraid of, Jolteon, Tornadus T, which is what I was kind of afraid of, Mega Blastoise, which is what I was afraid of, and then Genesect, which can or cannot be a problem. We'll find out. But we see there's no Necrozma, so I'm not going to lead Greninja. There's not really a reason to. And if he has any Rock Setters, it's going to be that Mamoswine, because I don't think Magearna gets Stealth Rocks. Genesect, I don't know if that gets it either, but typically they're not going to be Rock Setters. So if he gets it, he's going to be Mamoswine. I'm going to lead Clefable because I need the Rocks up this game. There's a lot of Calcs that don't work unless Rocks are up, so I need them up, and Blastoise is the only one that can get rid of them, so we have to make sure that we oppress that Blastoise to make sure he can't Rapid Spin freely. So we're going to start with Clefable, and then we're going to go from there. I'm going to set up my Rocks, hopefully right away, depending on who starts. I was figuring he's either going to lead Jolteon or Genesect, because at this point I'm still thinking it's a Life Orb Mamoswine. So let's get up in it. And for those of you guys who haven't noticed, this is postcom, and we're gonna be doing postcom for PGL because it gives me a little more time to think about things. So I do lead the Clefable, and he ends up leading Extinction, which I thought was Genesect for a second, but it is Mamoswine. So this kind of makes me think this isn't Life Orb Mamoswine because he's going to be trying to set up the rocks, so he's going to go for he's going to have Focus Sash. So he's going to Earthquake. I'm just going to straight up set up my Stealth Rocks here. If he's not Life Orb, we automatically live 3 Earthquakes, so I'm fine. Or it takes 3 to knock us out. So I set up the rocks, and we don't see Life Orb, so I'm like, yes, either he's Choice in some way, not Banded, he'd have to be Choice Scarf, or he has Focus Sash. So now I can stay in here and Moonblast. I should have Moonlighted if I was smart, because we won't live a 3rd Earthquake. So I'm like, all right, well, we already messed up. So we're going to try... This Moonblast has a chance to hit KO depending on rolls. So we're going to light off this Moonblast here. Hopefully get a high roll on this first one so we don't have to worry about the second one. Unfortunately, not a high roll. And I'm like, well, I don't necessarily need Clefable anymore. Rocks are up, and there's no Hydreigon. So I might as well just go for Moonlight, see what he's going to try and do here. But he sets up his own Stealth Rocks. Maybe he's expecting me to switch out. I'm like, all right, so he is the type that's going to expect that kind of stuff. So let's mess with that a little bit. So Moonlight's going to come through. That's going to heal me up. So now I can take 2 more Earthquakes, at least. Maybe a 3rd one, depending on some rolls. Who knows? I'm thinking it's only going to be 2, though. Actually, it looks like it might be 3 at this point. So I can go for another Moonblast. And depending on rolls, once again, we'll be able to knock him out because it does 49 to 55%. He's going to go for another Earthquake here. And that looks like we might live a 3rd one, or another one. But I go for the Moonblast here. Bada bing, bada boom. Is it a high roll? No, but it's a crit. So the crit didn't necessarily matter depending on the roll, but who knows. So Mamoswine goes down there. We get some light leftovers recovery. And again, at this point, Clefable does not need to be around anymore. We got our Stealth Rocks up. As long as Blastoise doesn't get rid of them, who cares? So Genesect's going to come in. I'm like, all right, we can kind of get some information on this Genesect here, since I don't need the Clefable. So he's going to take some Stealth Rock damage. We see the download. He's going to get special attack raise, which he does. And now we can see if he has Iron Head or Flash Cannon. He does have Flash Cannon, which makes me think that he's probably purely special. Maybe with U-Turn, maybe Extreme Speed. I don't know for sure. But that's going to knock out Clefable, so sorry, Clefable. Maybe we can rack up some deaths for you with Stealth Rocks, but we'll see. So we see Life Orb, so that means Greninja's going to outspeed. Now, because of Stealth Rocks, Extreme Speed is a roll with Life Orb, but I figured I'd go for it anyway. He does switch out, which makes me think maybe he doesn't have Extreme Speed, or maybe he was just being safe and going into Magearna, because Extreme Speed was a roll, obviously. I go for Dark Pulse. No, I go for Hidden Power Fire. So I show this off. It is super effective on the Magearna, but it's still not going to do a ton, because it's not 4 times super effective like it is against the Genesect, and we also don't have Life Orb. So I'm going to switch out, because I can't really do anything to the Magearna now, and I'm going to go into Schnaps, because Scissor's another Mon that we don't really need this matchup. There's no Necrozma, there's no Hydreigon. Mamoswine's gone, so he can just come in, buff off some bullet punches, and we can go from there. So Magearna is going to Volt Switch out. So we know that it's... Oh, actually, we don't know anything about Magearna yet. We've just seen Volt Switch. But we know... I'm pretty sure it's not Choice Specs from that damage. So I'm just going to Mega Evolve, go for Bullet Punch here. I'm assuming he has Heat Wave. I don't care. Once again, Scissors does not need to be in here. And he's already overpredicted with the Clefable switching out. So possibly that happens here as well. So I go for the Bullet Punch. It does between 45 to 55%. So we'll bring him down to where another one takes him out. And he goes for Air Slash. So I don't know if he was expecting the switch or if he doesn't have Heat Wave. I'd assume he would because I have Mega Scissor on my team. But we are going to be able to live that, get off another Bullet Punch. And this one should take him out from here. And it does. By the way, I love that nickname, Songbird. Great nickname. Kudos to you. So Scissor picks up a KO when he was supposed to fade as well. So Clefable and Scissor just putting it out. So Genesect's going to come in here. I'm just going to Bullet Punch. Once again, don't need Scissor. Do not care if he faints. He's just here to put off as much damage as he can before he goes down. And he's already knocked out a Mon, so he's done more than I've asked him to. So Bullet Punch is going to come through, rack up with some big damage on the Genesect. And we're going to be able to see another move from Genesect, which is nice, which I assumed he had Flamethrower, which he does. So that will knock out my Scissor. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So Scissor goes down. We got Stealth Rock, Life Orb, and Bullet Punch damage off on the Genesect. So I'm loving that. So now I can bring in my Arcanine. And he doesn't know I'm Choice Scarfed yet. And if he switches, I don't have to show it off. But I'm going to go for Wild Charge. Because Wild Charge will be able to knock out Genesect from this range. And also... if Blastoise wants to come in expecting the Flare Blitz, we hit it really hard. So Nickelodeon, the Blastoise does come in, and it is a normal Blastoise right now, and some Stealth Rock damage for him. So this Wild Charge is going to do a little bit more than it will to the Mega Bop. And it brings me down to just under 50%. I know another Wild Charge won't knock out the Blastoise, but we have to stay in a Wild Charge to keep the pressure on. So that if he wants to try and Rapid Spin expecting a switch, then we still have a chance to knock out or we can still knock out the Blastoise the following turn and still have a Choice Scarf Arcanine on our side. So we go for another Wild Charge, Bop. This will get him just to a point where he's not going to be able to faint from that, and we're going to see if he expects us to switch or not. He does not. He just goes straight for a Scald. He's caught on to my games. I'm just here to get rid of Mons. And Arcanine will faint there. Unfortunately, no KOs for the Arcanine, but it did put in the damage. We could have been Choice Banded this game, and it would have ended up working out for us, but I think Choice Scarf was a little bit safer and a little bit more cheeky in case that situation did arise. So Greninja can come in. I'm going to go for Dark Pulse here. So I can hopefully get the Battle Bond Greninja up. The big thing with Ash Greninja is that everybody knows it's Ash Greninja, so they're not going to let you get KOs with it, because that's where you get all your power. So unfortunately, this Magearna can come in pretty nicely on me. I get the Dark Pulse off, and at this point, I don't know if it's Choice Scarf or not, and Hidden Power Fire, there's no way it's going to take it out anyway, so I'm going to switch out, save my Greninja for a little bit longer. I'm going to go into Ernie, because I know little baby Ernie can eat up anything outside of, like, Z-Move, Fightium Z thing, all out pummeling, and Choice Specs even we live with Fleur Cannon. So he goes with the Fleur Cannon, so here we will know what his item is, and it's not Choice Specs. We know that now. That is not enough damage to be Choice Specs, and he's -2. So he goes for a Volt Switch here. I'm like, yes, he's not choiced. He's probably a Z-Move because we haven't seen Life Orb or Leftovers. So I'm assuming the Z-Move's on that Magearna, and I went for Recover here because he's at -2. He wasn't going to be able to do much to me. Genesect comes back out. I'm like, all right. I looked up Genesect on Therapy quick. No Aura Sphere. Perfect. If he does get Aura Sphere and I'm mistaken, please let me know, guys, because I don't battle these things enough to know what's what. So I get a nice Recover here. I'm like, all right, I can go for Thunderbolt. I believe I go for Thunderbolt. Or I go for another Recover. I'm not 100% sure on what I went for here. But he's going to U-turn. I figured even if he brought in Jolteon, Jolteon really is only taking damage from the Stealth Rock, so it's not a huge deal if it gets Volt Absorb from Thunderbolt. But he brings out the Blastoise. Yeah, that's right. I did go for Thunderbolt here. He brings out the Blastoise, which is going to faint for the Stealth Rocks. Unfortunately, Clefable doesn't get a point off that. It just goes to Stealth Rock points or Hazard points. And we have Soul Heart from Magearna. I talked about this in our team builder. So now we're at +1. I should have recovered. We would have been looking so much nicer. But the Magearna is going to come in again. And outside of all-out pummeling, I can recover up on this thing every time. So he goes for Flash Cannon. So I don't know if he doesn't have Aura Sphere or what was going on with this Magearna. That I know it. it must have the Z move because we're not seeing any other items off of it unless it's something really cheeky. But otherwise, I can just recover up in this thing until it floor cannons, and then it's down to being sad. So here comes another flash cannon. I go for a thunderbolt here, and I kind of expected it to knock it out, but unfortunately it does not. So maybe this was Assault Vest Magirna, because I believe from the calcs it was supposed to knock it out, but if it's Assault Vest, that makes sense. So he goes for another floor cannon. I believe I recover again. Actually, this is his first floor cannon on this time around. So he was just trying to chip me down to maybe where a floor cannon can do a bunch of damage. I recover here. I'm like, cool. We are looking really good now. He's at -2 again. And so I can just fire off a Thunderbolt. I believe I go for another Thunderbolt. He goes for another floor cannon. He actually misses that one, which, I mean, is kind of upsetting, but at the same time, it wasn't going to be doing a ton. So the Tri-Attack's going to be able to knock out the Magirna from here, just in case the Jolteon came in. I didn't want it getting a free switch in. And I get another Soul Heart boost. So this Porygon's going in right now. We're at +2. In comes the Jolteon. And Tri-Attack actually does not want to KO the Jolteon from here. I can't remember if I go for recover or not right now. He does get that big Thunderbolt off. Yep, I go for Tri-Attack. Next turn, I'm going to recover. And from his side, it might have looked like I was just being a dick, but and recovering. But I actually was not 100% sure that the Genesect was going to go down to Stealth Rocks. So I wanted to make sure that my Porygon was a high enough health that the Genesect wasn't going to be able to come in and KO us, because I would like to keep a good differential on this Porygon, and I need a good differential to come back after week 1. So I'm just going to recover twice here, get us to a good health where we'll for sure live any hit from the Genesect outside of Explosion, obviously, but if he explodes, we win anyway. So, so he's going to go for another Thunderbolt. This turn, I am going to go for Tri-Attack because we're at a high enough health where now we'll live any hit from the Genesect. Here comes the mighty Tri-Attack. And down goes Porygon 2, picking up another KO for the boy Porygon 2. Did I say down goes Porygon 2? Is that meant the Jolteon? We get another Soul Heart, so that Genesect's at low enough health, we don't need the Soul Hearts. And actually, Genesect is at low enough health where the Stealth Rocks pick it up. So Clefable getting the last laugh on that Genesect there. But again, no points for Clefable, unfortunately. I mean, Clefable did get the 1 point off the Mamoswine. So, Porygon 2. We were contemplating not bringing Porygon 2, and look what it did. I in passing, I'm like, maybe we get Floor Cannon and start killing things. Porygon 2, the boy. Ernie, my dude. But anyway, GG to Max Rapture. Really good game. Yeah, I think the biggest thing was him predicting our switches and then us just not caring about those Pokemon fainting. So that just ended up working out for us in the long run is essentially what I think happened, because I did end up getting us Mamoswine and Tornadus. So that was 2 Pokemon we got to KO because of not caring. So I think that worked out pretty nicely. Obviously, that's not going to work every week, but sometimes it does. Anyway, guys, Mudsdale didn't get to come in, though. I'm real sad. And another week without Ash Greninja showing up. Someday we'll get Ash Greninja to work. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Be sure to go check out Max Rapture. His link will be in the description below. And also like and subscribe if you have not already to show support for your Minnesota Wild Charge. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next time. Stay sharp, everyone, and go Wild Charge.